Hello and welcome back to the Hype Bulletin, hosted by yours truly, Ralph Mentor. Now, again, if you guys are listening on the YouTube side, please subscribe to that. Please press that subscribe button. There we go. To help us support the podcast and all. And again, if you guys are listening on podcast platforms like Apple or Spotify, please leave us a rating to again help support the podcast and all. But let's get into it. I should have had a preview show before this episode at least, and all. But hey, people make mistakes and all. But after looks like the start of the NBA Finals, looks like it is the start of the NBA Finals, and we're coming off a dope Game 1 won by the Indiana Pacers in a thrilling Game 1. Can't even lie. Some people have said this is the best game in the postseason in a long time. I wholeheartedly agree so far, honestly. I feel like Game 6 of the Golden State Warriors versus the Boston Celtics was a pretty damn good, thrilling game and all, an elimination game and all. And then, yeah, what game is that? I think Game 5, Milwaukee versus Phoenix, where Giannis had that or Drew Holiday had that dope pass to Giannis of that alley-oop and off of a Drew Holiday steal, if I remember correctly, on Devin Booker and all too as well. But that was a dope-ass finals game too as well. Like 23, Denver Nuggets, Miami Heat. And then, as a Celtics fan, very dope last year at least and all. But then again, you know what I mean? I get why others would say it's a very boring finals too as well, honestly. But what is this? We're talking Thursday night, because this is Saturday morning that I'm recording here and all. Was an awesome basketball game, even though the Oklahoma City Thunder dominated the game for like, let's say 59 and what is it, 59 and 57 seconds of that game. Am I getting it right? No. 48 minutes and 57. So not even 40. What is it? I'm trying to get it right. 47 minutes and like 59 seconds and all of them basically dominating the game and all. When I say 48 minutes, 12 minutes per quarter and all, and there's 4 quarters in the NBA game. So it's basically 48 minutes and all. But my point I'm getting to, at least, and all, Tyrese Haliburton hit one of the clutchest shots, and man, one of the clutchest shots. This man's hit clutch shots in basically every series, and all, with the layup against Milwaukee in Game 5, the step back against the Cleveland Cavaliers to, I think, get the game into overtime. I think won the game, and at least, and all. There we go. The Knicks one is the what was it? Knicks game 1. Where he stepped back and tied the game, and unfortunately had to go to overtime because he was presumed the choke sign, at least, to his or choke celebration for the Knicks having the lead and all, big lead and all. I think they had themselves a 17-point lead second half of the fourth quarter and all. And the Pacers still came back and won that game too as well, honestly. But they did it again. They were down as much as 14 points and all throughout the game, at least. No, they weren't down by more than 20 in this game and all, which is also surprising because they had 20 turnovers in the first half and all, based on the Oklahoma City's Game 7 game against Denver and all, where they forced 25 turnovers. They ended up blowing out Denver by almost 50 in a playoff game, at least, and all too as well. So impressive for Indiana and all to have 20 turnovers and to still only be down by 12 points, I believe. I think they were down 67 to 55 or 67 to 52. I think they're down 15 going into halftime, at least, and all too as well. But again, the Indiana Pacers won this game and all, and I'm saying how they Indiana Pacers didn't win this game, and I'm saying how much Oklahoma City dominated this game and all too as well. I would argue that both teams would what's it called? They were dealing with nerves in the first half, at least. No, you saw it with the Pacers and their turnovers, bad passes too as well, honestly. Even though there were some passes even by Tyrese I liked, but against Oklahoma City Thunder defense, kind of a stretch to be throwing those passes, at least. No, but I felt like the Thunder were dealing with just as many nerves as the Pacers, honestly, because they weren't out and gunning. Maybe you can credit Indiana Pacers defense, at least, and all too as well. But still, when the Oklahoma City Thunder get turnovers, they usually score and in transition, at least. Now they score off those turnovers and all. And the Pacers had like 20. They ended up having 25 for the whole game. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, with those 25 turnovers, only got 11 points off of those turnovers and all. I believe, I'm not sure, I don't have a stat, that I've seen over the past couple of days, at least, no, but I'm pretty sure with those 20 turnovers that the Indiana Pacers had, the Oklahoma City Thunder probably had single digits in points off of those turnovers and all. So I just thought it was huge for Indiana to have those turnovers and to still only be down 12, 15 points at least throughout the first half, at least, too, as well. They've had moments in the first half, too, as well, where they cut the lead down to 6, and Mark Dadnall had to call a timeout to, get the team going all over again. So that's why I kind of see, even though it looked clear as day that nerves were bothering the Pacers. First time in the NBA Finals, at least, and all different moments. It's a different feel. It's even a different feel from playoff games, honestly. If we can argue that too as well, honestly. But I feel like based off those turnovers and all in Oklahoma City, not really, what's the word? What's the term I'm looking for? At least and all, but pressing the issue off of those turnovers and all. You can credit Indy's D, but I just felt like as soon as those turnovers were coming by the Pacers at least and all too as well. I guess a pause fits for that and all too as well. But still, I just felt like the Oklahoma City Thunder wasn't they weren't pressing the issue at least and all too as well on Indy's defense to really off those turnovers at least. And all. So that's why I thought even nerves too, even though it was clear again, clear as day that the Indy and the Pacers were dealing with some nerves. I felt like Oklahoma City was dealing with just as many nerves too as well, honestly. But like I said, a thrilling game honestly too as well. Like I said, Indy kept it close. You even thought with 3 minutes left after, Indy made themselves a run, but the Thunder made themselves a run too as well to get under 2 minutes at least. No, even what's his name, Shea. I call him Gangstalicious at least, no, but just for the podcast, SGA hit a big shot and all too as well. Big, I think it was a layup. Yeah, big layup over Pascal Siakam and Obi Toppin, if I remember correctly too as well, honestly. And I think this was following a Lou Dort block too as well, honestly. So it seemed like they had the game cinched. But Andrew Nembhard out of nowhere hits 2 back-to-back threes. I think they're both step-back threes too as well. I think one of them definitely a step back. Off of Shea, too as well. Had basically crossed him up in that in one of those step back threes at least. And I think one was a pull up and all, but I can't remember specifically. But hit 2 big threes and all. I think they were within one, and that's when the whole scenario went down too as well. Where Tyrese Haliburton hit that big shot off of a miss by Shea. Big rebound by Neesmith, in my opinion, because he was battling with Lou Dort and all too as well. Haitian American that I just found out honestly too as well. So shout out to Lou against Dort and all too, or Haitian Canadian I should say. So shout out to Lou against Dort and all too as well. But big rebound by Neesmith. I think he handed it over at the top, and then Toppin handed it over to Haliburton, where again they had like 8 seconds where they got the basketball at least and all, and was winding down. 5 seconds when Tyrese Haliburton got into the half court at least, or passing the half court and all. And then basically a pull-up shot. I don't think he was expected to take the shot and all. When you look at it, you had Caruso play up. Well, Cason Wallace was guarding Tyrese Haliburton the whole time at least, but when he was getting to the spot where he took the shot, you can see Caruso coming up at least. I feel like he made a fake and was trying to give the ball over to Siakam. Caruso did a great job and got himself back into position, back into the dunker defense at least, and all was able to avoid a basket by Pascal Siakam. But as soon as he made that fake and Caruso left, and the Cason Wallace, the defender at least, and all was way off on him too. And I what's it called there? I respect Cason Wallace's defense, honestly, because he was guarding Haliburton at the 3-point line at least. So that's why I feel like he ended up being so low for that pull-up shot, because I don't think he expected it and all. As basketball fans, we know that Tyrese Haliburton loves his step-back 3 at least and all, and he was showing out the flip shot too as well last night and throughout the postseason too of his flip shot and all too as well, but ended up pulling up for that shot at least and all too as well. Rattled in a bit, not like a complete swish at least, but again, big cojones from Homeboy, who has hit game-winning shots all postseason, and now it's continuing and all too as well. So just a thrilling game and how that ended at least and all too as well. And that's why I was making up a big deal about the 48 minutes and like 59 seconds of when the Golden City Thunder had the lead. When Haliburton hit that shot, 0.3 left. Indiana Pacers got the lead, first lead of the game with 0.3 left and all. And the Thunder had 2 timeouts, try to get a baseline play out. Basically, with 0.3 left, it's basically a catch-and-shoot situation, so they aimed for the rim and all. I think they had 2 timeouts, set themselves up for the play at least, and I think they called another timeout. And they attempted that, and they didn't really have a chance. So, big, huge win for the Pacers, and they're only leading for 0.3 of the game at least, and all too as well. Now we head into Game 2 tomorrow at 8 o'clock at least, and all. And I give the Pacers a fighting chance to be in this game, honestly. The betting the betting market has the Thunder winning by I think they are what do you call that? The spread, I guess, is what you want to call it at least. And all the Thunder are favored with an 11.5 point lead or whatever you want to call that. It should at least know. I gotta get that terminology better for the betting people at least know. But still, the Thunder are clearly favored or heavily favored in this game and all. And I think the way the Pacers had 20 turnovers in the first half, we're only down 12. I don't think the Thunder can blow out this team and all too as well. There is a thing that I started peeping by the Indiana Pacers, which I think helps them with their turnover issue and all, because I just think they're a team that's gonna have turnovers and all. But the way that they bring the ball up based off misses and makes by the opponent and all, I find very impressive and all. Because when I see OKC make their shots at least and all, I'm seeing the Pacers bring the ball up into their side of the half court 20 seconds in and all. And I think those are extra possessions and all, because you got some teams that walk the ball down. The Celtics, you know, I mean, I don't even put my Celtics in this type of realm at least and all, but they tend to walk the ball up slow and end up getting into their offense 14 to 17 seconds in. 12 to 14 if I feel like I'm being courteous right now, but for my Celtics at least, no. But they get into their offense 12, 15 seconds in and all, and I feel, and you know, you knock that down, you know, you have your possession for 10 seconds basically and all, before the shot clock violation at least, you know, when the Pacers come up and they come up with their offense 20 seconds into the shot clock at least and all. I just feel like you're giving yourself an extra possession, because possessions don't typically take more than 10 seconds in my opinion at least. You know, if you're giving yourself 20 seconds and be able to score or even miss in those 10 seconds and all, I just think you're creating extra possession in that game and an extra 10 seconds for yourself too as well, because I believe OKC out-possessioned the shit out of the Pacers and all, most typically in the first half because of those turnovers and all too as well. But the fact that you're still able to be in that game, still able to be in that game at least and all, I think they were out possession by like 20. I think the what's it called there? The Thunder had like, I should get the numbers for this, but I think they were sitting there close to 50 possessions and all. I think the Pacers were sitting there close to, like, you know, in the high 30s, close to 40 at least and all. So an extra like 15 to 20 possessions, I believe that worked out for the Thunder. But again, with the Pacers moving fast off makes and misses and all, I just feel like at the end that creates extra possessions for themselves, and you kind of see it in these late game situations too as well. Honestly, how they have more rhythm, you know, in these late game situations. Not even in Thursday night's game, just in the postseason too as well. Honestly, you look at Cleveland, dead in the water towards the end of these games too as well. The Knicks were showing that they were the comeback kids against Detroit, and the Celtics too as well, and they couldn't even keep up with the Pacers too as well. I'm not going to count the Bucks in this type of scenario at least not too as well, because the Pacers kind of dominated that series. It took till Game 5 for them to finally show out their comeback, you know, savvy at least and all too as well, honestly. But I just feel like that's helping them in these late game situations when they're I don't know. I just feel like starting your possession at 20 seconds, there's a good chance that you're ending that possession with 8 to 10 seconds left in the shot clock at least and all. I just think that extra 8 seconds, I know I'm being minuscule, but I just feel like the extra 8 seconds helps in the back end of these quarters, and especially in these second halves for the Pacers at least and all too as well. So that's why I'm curious, and then now that's why I'm curious if OKC can even blow out this team too as well. And now with what the Pacers are throwing out offensively and all, with a 5-wide offense, which I don't think since the Denver series probably you haven't seen, that the Thunder haven't seen at least and all too as well. And what's it called there? But the 5-wide defense, 5-wide offense, the Thunder seem to be adjusting sooner than you expected at least and all too as well. They're starting 5 center, and Isaiah Hartenstein only played 17 minutes, which I was startled to see at least and all too as well. I don't think it's an advantage with their double big against the Pacers, because I wouldn't sleep on Siakam and Miles Turner honestly too as well. But it has been their bread and butter throughout the season at least, not playing double big, even though they were able to play without it because Isaiah Hartenstein started this season with an injury, and then Chet had his I think hip injury through the quarter half of the season at least and all too as well. So they never played together, and they still were winning basketball games too as well, honestly. But they ended up playing together in the second half, basically the second half of the season, and they've continued their role at least and all too as well. Then they've continued playing it, the majority of the time at least. So I found it interesting that Mark Dagnall went to AJ Mitchell so early. There was no foul trouble with any of his players at least and all too as well, and they're pretty deep at guard. When you look at Cason Wallace, Caruso, Isaiah Joe, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Jay Williams, honestly too as well. They're pretty deep there. So I was kind of surprised them playing AJ Mitchell. Maybe he saw the the five wide offense that the Pacers were playing, and the way they were moving to as well with the basketball, even with their turnovers in the first half, it was kind of more self-induced turnovers and all because they were just moving the ball too fast. They weren't slowing themselves down, in my opinion. All too, it was just a couple. Obi Toppin looked terrible in the first quarter. Look at the game he ended up having, which is crazy to say that he was terrible in that first half at least. No, but jitters, I think anxiety all over the place, butterflies all over the place for him at least. No, Tyrese Haliburton, I felt like too made a few bad passes. I felt like Siakam was the only guy, as the it's the only resident finals appearance or participant on the Pacers at least. And I feel like he was the only one that was in the game at least. When Miles Turner had himself a rebound, got knocked out very quickly, and got scored on honestly too as well. I think he had three fouls. He had three fouls I think early in that game, and he had 6 turnovers in most of the game too as well. I think probably majority of those turnovers probably in the first half at least, if not all of them. I don't think he even had a turnover in the second half if I look at it correctly. Honestly, maybe just one, but he played so much better in the second half. Obi Toppin too, same thing, just played so much better in the second half and all too as well. And that's another thing too as well where I'm kind of worried about OKC, even though Chet and Jay Williams for their side at least did not show up at least and all. Did not show up at all, in my opinion. Lugans, Dort, and Caruso showed up more and all too as well. I just think let's just say, Chet and Jay Williams struggling wouldn't surprise me. It continuing. Haliburton, just the way he finished that game, struggling, can't see it. That's my issue with the others when it comes. Shea did his thing. He dropped 38 points and all. If he hit that mid-range shot with before the Haliburton game-winning shot at least, and all, the man sits there with 40 points. OKC wins that game at least, and all. There's nothing to worry about at least, and all. So I'm not worried about him scoring. He's gonna get his points at least. And you can see that Indiana was letting him do his thing in the first quarter at least. And he ended up having 18 shot attempts, I believe, in the first half at least, and all too as well. I think that's a game plan for Indy just to let Shea go, because you can see Chet had no rhythm. He wasn't able to get going at least not too as well. Jay Williams had no rhythm too as well, honestly. Couldn't get himself going and all. He had some good dope baskets at least not, but really didn't show out at all in this game at least not too as well. So I feel like if Shea doesn't figure out, like the same way Brunson had to figure out against Detroit, that you just can't be dribble. It's all about have 30 shot attempts in the game at least and all. It could be real trouble for the others at least not too as well. I don't know if Shea's going to be in the mood to pass the ball, because I know this guy wants his NBA Finals MVP, and based on my arguments about Jason Tatum and all, how he deserved MVP at least not too as well, the reason why he was knocked to not getting that MVP because he wasn't scoring over 30 points a game in the playoffs or in that Finals at least. Jaylen Brown had more 30-point performances. I think he had 2-3 of them, while Jason only had 1, and I think that was in Game 5 at least not too as well. 2 as well. Wow, excuse me. But again, I think Shea is focused on getting his 30 points and all. I'm curious how much will he be playmaking for his others at least and all too as well in this series, because I think this is why I throw experience out in these type of scenarios, and all his focus may be on getting that NBA Finals MVP, and that's if you want your NBA Finals MVP, you're gonna have to score 30 points in this series. You're gonna have to average, I should say, 30 points in this series, and all. He's by far cleared that with his 40 points so far in Game 1 at least and all. But it wouldn't surprise me if that's his focus on scoring 30 points and all too as well. And is that gonna help Chet Holmgren? Is that going to help Jay Williams? We know Tyrese Haliburton, how he plays at least. Now his others are going to have an opportunity with rhythm to do their thing, and all. You saw Nembhard step up in in that fourth quarter. Miles Turner stepped up with a bank 3, in that fourth quarter, and all. Siakam was, as that only finals participant in the Pacers, he's going to be steady. He's probably going to be their most steady player throughout the series, and he had himself a bad game with 19 points and all too as well, just based on the first half. He had a great second. Well, he had an okay first half at least, because like I said before, he was the most steady guy out of all the players for the Pacers at least, but I expect him to have some bigger games too as well, honestly, where he can drop 30, 35 points in the game, and we've seen this throughout the postseason and in the finals with Pascal Siakam and all, where I think he was this close of winning NBA Finals MVP over Kawhi Leonard in that 2019 Finals and all. He was a dope number 2 to Kawhi Leonard and all, why you understand why he wanted to play with a Paul George-esque player or whoever was rumored around that time before him going to the Los Angeles Clippers and all too as well, honestly. I could understand at the time why you wouldn't think Pascal Siakam can do it again. And now look at him. He's doing it again, too, as well, honestly. Even someone mentioned on one of my group chats and Twitter and all where Pascal Siakam in the Hall of Fame, especially if he wins another ring and all, like, yo, bruh, you may have to do that, too, as well. Honestly. Who would have ever thought that of Pascal Siakam and all? But he is going to be their most consistent scorer, the Pacers, in this game and all. Even though Haliburton, again, is their best player. But this man does focus on playmaking. He does get knocked for not being more aggressive and all, too, as well. But you see what he's doing in these end of these games. You got to trust what his game is, even though he's not dropping 25 points and 12, getting the 12 rebounds and the 10 assists in every game at least. No, he had 12 rebounds. I think he had 9 assists in this game too as well. Honestly, I'll get let me see if I can get the box score up in due time because this thing would be slow. This thing is slow. Alright, this thing wants to be slow on me. There we go. Yeah. So slow on me. But what do you have? Yeah, 10 rebounds, 6 assists at least. No, I know he dropped 14 points. I can't find it. There we go. Yeah, I can't find it. Let it be. But yeah, I feel like you can see the Pacers getting better throughout the series at least and all. You got your best Shea game too as well from the Thunder. How many times are you going to drop close to 40 points in the game and all too as well? Get his 30, but drop his 40 at least and all. But if Shea is getting his 30, is Jay Williams and Chet able to get going and all? They've had one game in this postseason where they went crazy. Where they all dropped, together they dropped 95, but that was one game. I haven't seen another game where they all dropped 60 together at least, and all too as well. It probably happened. You know what I mean? It probably happened. It probably happened because Jay Williams dropped 30 in the Denver game, and I know Shea probably at least dropped 25 and all too as well. I don't know in those games at least know where Chet was with his points at least. So that's why I'm curious if they ever did get 60 together like that too as well. Outside of that game where they got 95 at least and all too as well. Let me not say 60, like 65 or 70. Cause I'm pretty sure they've gotten 60 all three together at least. But I'm just curious how consistent that is at least all too as well. If Shea's really like dribbling, this is a series where I call basketball ethics is on the line at least because we're making fun. Some people are making fun of Brunson and the way he dribbles with his offense at least all too as well. But we respected that throughout the season. Now we have a problem with that too as well. But we don't see it with OKC because of their great defense. They're a loaded team too as well. There's a team that runs like 10. They can run 10 to 12 men deep in their in their roster at least not too as well throughout any type of game. That's how deep they are too as well, honestly. But there is a factor of Shea, in my opinion, at least on my analysis, at least know that Shea is a dribble type of basketball player too as well. Honestly, it could show itself out in this series and all. That's why I'm going to be very curious how experience plays a part in this series, honestly, too, as well. Even though both teams are the first time in the finals and all, I respect the Pacers' run over the last 2 years and all, from being in the Eastern Conference Finals, having a run, losing in the Eastern Conference Finals, and the next year, taking the Eastern Conference Finals and taking that leap over to the finals and all. The reason why I will again knock the Oklahoma City Thunder in their postseason run right now, and why maybe Game 1 was a bit of a slouch for them, mainly they had 7 days off, so that is a factor too as well. Even though, like I said earlier, they dominated this game even with those 7 days off. Honestly, when you look at teams that had 7 days off and coming into the first game and all, i.e. the Lakers and all too as well against Allen Iverson and the Philadelphia 76ers back in 01 and all. The Lakers never looked good in that game throughout, you know what I mean? AI had his neck on that game and he took care of that, at least in Game 1 at least and all. In this Game 1 scenario at least and all, where the Thunder had 7 days off, they looked good throughout the whole game. You know what I mean? Like I said, they led the game for 47 minutes and 59 seconds, basically, and some change to that 59 seconds and all, too, as well. They basically led throughout the whole game and all, too, as well. Like I said, the Pacers kept themselves in that game, but the Pacers would make a run. Thunder would make a run just as much to give themselves a 12, 14, 17-point lead at any given time in that basketball game too as well, honestly. So it's not like they didn't show up. It's like the Pacers just thoroughly dominated this game too as well. Honestly, they had one lead, and that lead was with .3 left of the basketball game too as well, honestly. So again, it's not like rest. I don't think rest hurt the Oklahoma City Thunder, in my opinion, when you just look at the stats in this game, honestly, too, as well. Helped their best player, for sure, honestly, too, as well. I mean, it's not like the Pacers had themselves, like 2 days before this basketball game, too, as well, honestly. They're coming off 4 days, 5 days off, at least, no different from, 7 days with the, I think it's 4. When did the series end? Was it Saturday or Friday? Friday or Saturday, the series ended against the Knicks, at least not for the Pacers and all too. And the series started on Thursday and all, so I'm pretty sure it's 5 days. And then the Thunder finished up the T-Wolves earlier last week, at least, more midweek of last week too as well, honestly. So yeah, that's why I give the Pacers a strong chance to really make some noise in Game 2 and all. I would pick the Thunder to win Game 2 at least and all, but I don't think it's a blowout. I kind of even like watching the game and how that ended, and I'm like, yo, the Thunder are going to blow out the Pacers and all too as well for Game 2. Even I presumed that and all, but when you look at all that, it's hard not to see the Pacers in this basketball game too as well. And say it's a must-win for OKC. You don't want to be down 0-2 going to the opponent's crib and all too as well, even though the Pacers' Game 3 record isn't great at least and all, but the postseason has shown things are not always the same, even though they show the same at least now, as you can see in Game 1. The Pacers being down, coming back and winning it too as well, honestly. So that would be interesting. Even if they went down 0-2, they can probably win Game 3 just based off Indy's history in this postseason of not winning Game 3s at least now too as well. But it does make a pinch in Game 4 for them to win again, honestly. And if we look at that history, at least in all recent history with the Pacers, they've been thrilling in Game 4s and all too as well. I think they had a huge blowout win against the Cavs in the second round of the playoffs, where they had 80 points. I think they had 80 points, and the Cavs only had like 44 points by the end of the first half of that Game 4, at least now too as well. So it's very. I think it's imperative for the Thunder to win Game 2. I would pick them to win Game 2, honestly. Have it go 1-1 and back to Indy and all too as well. Maybe, have themselves a lead in this series, have a 2-1 lead, honestly, too as well, at the end of it, going into Game 4 and all too as well. But that's my reaction to Game 1, at least. I don't think I got anything else. I'm trying to remember anything else. Andrew Nembhard, another note for Andrew Nembhard, at least. I did not expect him to guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but when you look at history now, I'm not surprised because they're both Canadian and all. I heard that they've been going back and forth basketball-wise since they were 7 to 10 years old, at least, all too as well. So there's great history there. I would have predicted Mathurin if I did a preview show, at least. My big X factor would have been Mathurin, at least. I don't think he had a bad Game 2 as well, honestly. Fit into the nerves, with the rest of the team in the first half, but had himself a second half, at least, where he showed out a bit. Had a big block on Jay Williams too as well. Honestly, a guy I expect him to guard more going forward in the series and all, but I may be wrong about that because you can just put Neesmith on Jay Williams and have Nembhard guard call Shai, honestly, too, as well, which I was startled and surprised how well he defended them. Again, Shai had his 38 points and all, 30 shot attempts. He was able to do whatever he wanted, but he made things tough for him, too, as well, where I think someone brought it up on Get Up and all, or if I heard on Twitter, whatever, at least, but first time you can see, Jay Williams, I think, on Get Up even mentioned how frustrated Shai even looked, at least. Calm, smooth individual. Even I'll give him that too as well. My Gangsta-licious joke towards him, at least, too as well. But he looked flustered at a moment against Nembhard where he gave him a shove, at least, too as well. Nembhard gave him a shove right back too as well. Honestly, forearm shoves, nothing crazy, competitive type shit. Honestly, nothing malicious or anything like that. But still, you can see that Shai was getting frustrated with Nembhard and all, and I would think that's only going to continue and all too as well. And that's a factor I totally slept on about Nembhard being Canadian. Obviously, he was probably on the Olympic team this past summer too as well, honestly. So great experience just guarding the guy too as well. Shai still has the height. That's why I wasn't thinking Nembhard could do anything against him, because I think Nembhard's probably 6'3", 6'4", while Shai's sitting there at 6'6", at least not too as well. Maybe 6'3", 6'4", Nembhard, and Shai 6'5", 6'6", whatever it is, at least not too as well. But does have a height advantage on him, but is able to body him up a little bit too as well, honestly. Does not foul. How many free throws does Shai even have? Yeah, that's not even the talking point, which is kind of impressive. We'll see. That's what I'm curious. Oh, he had 8 free throws still. Oh, wow. Oh, never mind then. But still, he was pretty effective anyway and all too as well, because he was able to get to his spots with no problem. I think it's part of the game plan with Indiana. And I would want that too, honestly. Let him score. Let him forget about he has teammates, at least, because he does have the ability to break you down and score, at least, and all too as well. So another note that I wanted to throw out, at least, for Game 1, Nembhard was awesome for the Pacers and all. Obi Toppin too, honestly, was huge for them too as well. Note for the Thunder, at least, and all. If this is one thing though that could work, if Shai does continue to dribble and do his thing, at least and all, I think Alex Caruso is a better player off of that than Jay Williams and Chet Holmgren at this point, at least and all. I don't know. Jay Williams' spot-up shooting is something I've always questioned. I think Chet's spot-up shooting is dope, at least and all. But even though I question Jay Williams' spot-up shooting, he has a great drive game and knock that. Even his step back game too as well. It's just a pull. It's more of the catch and shoot threes that I have issues with Jay Williams, and how good could he be, honestly, too as well in that type of scenario. Which I don't blame. He's a young cat. I'm not even trying to knock him. It's just that those type of experiences is what I've been questioning about the Thunder all year, at least. Chet, he can spot up shoot, no issue, but can he, especially in this series against Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner and all, can he drive? Can he make some plays in the paint, at least and all? Those are my issues with those two. Those are your 2 and 3. best players on the Thunder, at least and all. But if Shea's playing this way, at least and all, I just like the way. I just think Alex Caruso can play better off of that, at least and all. And I would hope they insert him into the starting lineup as soon as possible, at least and all. Because if Alex Caruso shows the ability to spot up, shoot, and all that type of stuff too as well, it's just an extra guy that Shea can look to. And then even if Caruso can't make his shots or the shots taken away and all, but if he's making those shots for it to be a threat, and he's been making those shots this postseason, so you better guard him on those spot up shots and all too as well. It's just an extra guy to dish out to. Jay Williams or Chet can receive the ball and that type. Receive it. Taking the Jeff Saturday thing and all too as well. Don't trademark me. But what's it called there? But yeah, Jay Williams or Chet Williams, if Chet or Jay Williams get the ball off of a dish from Shea to Alex Caruso, I just think it opens the floor a shit ton more for both of them. Chet Holmgren to shoot the ball and driving lanes, and just for Jay Williams to do his thing at least not too as well. And he's a good playmaker. He's a dope playmaker too as well. So I don't want to knock him in that way too as well. Honestly, I've been more impressed watching him throughout the season, throughout the postseason with his playmaking at least and all. But I am worried about the spot and catch and all if Shea continues playing like this at least and all. I would hope Dagnall, I feel like, made the wrong adjustment by playing AJ Mitchell and trying to go with more guards at least and all to offset what the guard play that the Pacers are throwing out at least and all. But I would just start Caruso in my opinion and go on from, I think for a change at least, I would start Caruso. I think Cason Wallace starts and Caruso comes off the bench. I would start Caruso because he would play better with Shea if they continue to let Shea do his thing, if Shea continues to do his thing, and he should. I just think Caruso would be a dope mix in the middle of all that, next to Chet, next to Jay Williams at least. So I think they'll be able to just find some space and able to get off a little bit more easier while Shea is doing this thing at least and all too as well. So I'll be curious if Mark Dagnall does make that move at least. And I think Caruso starting would be huge for the Thunder moving forward at least and all. For their prospects at least and all. Maybe a way that they can blow out the Pacers at least. Because I think currently constituted with Cason Wallace and Isaiah Joe at least. I don't know if they're going to be impactful in this type of series, honestly. I think more Caruso would be huge for them. As you can see with the minutes, you got 17 minutes from Isaiah Hartenstein and all too as well. So I would just, like with the Isaiah Joes, the Aaron Wiggins. No, Aaron Wiggins wasn't bad when I was watching him at least, but I just don't think he's going to be effective in this series compared to how he was effective throughout the regular season too as well, in the postseason too as well, honestly. I would just want more Isaiah Hartenstein should have played more, in my opinion, honestly. Maybe less Cason Wallace, honestly, and more Isaiah Hartenstein. I'm trying to figure if you're going to give, obviously, Isaiah Hartenstein more minutes, where you cutting out the minutes and all. And not because Cason Wallace gave up that shot to Haliburton, too, as well, honestly. I just think they need to focus on more of their double big and all. You put Caruso in there, too. You're more bigger, or pause. But you have a whole lot more size there on your starting lineup and all, too, as well. And may affect the Pacers a little bit more with your defense and all too as well. You're going to get your turnovers and all too as well. But there's the word. I didn't see force from the Thunder off those turnovers in that first half and all, when they generally play with a shit ton of force when they get those turnovers in transition. I feel like they played real soft against the Pacers in the first half and all. That's why in the earlier in the episode or recording, I felt like they were dealing with nerves just as much as the Pacers and all. Cause I didn't see force from the Thunder and all. I feel like in the first quarter of this game too, you're gonna see force from the Thunder and all. I'll be curious to see where the Pacers are sitting after that force slides by at least, because a basketball game is all, it's just a game of waves, in my opinion, a game of runs at least. Is that run so big that the Thunder have in that first quarter that the Pacers can't come back? That's how I'm really looking. That's how I'm going into game 2 and looking at it at least. Even if the Pacers are down 20 points, I still think they can come back. If they're down 30. Though after that first quarter and a half or so, they don't have a chance at least. And I feel like that's the new number in the league to make sure no one comes back on you. You got to be up by 30. That's the new, because if you're up by 20 ain't enough. And all, because 5 3-pointers by the opponent, 5 straight 3-pointers. It's a 5-point game, honestly, especially if you're not hitting any shots on your side at least and all too as well. And teams shoot the 3 up a shit ton these days, so that's why 20-point leads don't mean ish. But if the Thunder can get a 30-point lead first quarter of the half of that game and all, then maybe I can have some confidence of them blowing out the Pacers too as well, honestly. And it would be a good cinch for them to win that game too as well in that way too as well, honestly. So, but yeah, I think those are my little notes that I have for game 1 at least and all. I did want to talk about a certain firing by your New York Knicks and all too as well. If you got Knicks fans listening at least too as well, but so big news for them and all, firing Tom Thibodeau after leading after leading the Knicks to their first conference finals appearance in 25 years and all. But they end up firing him and all. We get the whole, like, as basketball fans, we know the obvious stuff why Tibbs got fired and all. He does not play a bench. I would say, where's the bench? You know what I mean? Only bench that you have there is Deuce McBride and all. I think, yeah, and Mitchell Robinson and all too as well. But yeah, Mitchell Robinson wasn't even playing throughout the whole season and all. Man came on around March, if not February, for them and all too as well. And I think if Mitchell was healthy, he's their starting five. Then Josh Hart's off your bench with Deuce McBride at least and all. Maybe you have a different atmosphere of your bench at least, know that top Tips could have used at least, know, but never had a chance for that this season. Well, I don't think he ever had a chance with that because Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle got hurt the year before too as well. I think Julius Randle got hurt the year before, you know what I mean and all, because last year Julius Randle didn't play. The year before, yeah, and the year before that, Julius Randle had a shoulder injury too as well. Was out for the second half of the season, the postseason, and all too as well. And then yeah, the year before he got hurt again. Didn't play well in the postseason. That's where all this postseason stuff with Julius Randle keeps getting built up and all too as well. But yeah, like, and these are the like other reasons why I would not fire Tibbs at least and all too as well. Like another big thing for me, honestly, you have the Celtics last year. Oh, you have the Pacers this year now. You have the Celtics last year. You have the Heat the year prior. And then a couple years before that. Oh, yeah, a couple years before that, you got the Bucks prior. In a way, not as specifically how I'm about to explain that, at least, and all. And the Raptors in a way, too, as well. But you had the Raptors who've lost in conference finals against LeBron, finally make a move for, I mean, I guess the Toronto Raptors doesn't fit because they fired Dwayne Casey, got Nick Nurse, and they made a trade for Kawhi Leonard. So that's where I was trying to go with it, at least. So maybe the Knicks are trying to pull something like that off. But the reason why I don't like the fire, at least, because you had a team like the Bucks who had Budenholzer, lost themselves an Eastern Conference Finals matchup against those Toronto Raptors and ended up winning at least. So they made a move for Drew Holiday, they made a move for Drew Holiday basically and all, and then boom, you know what I mean? They made the finals and won it. How am I saying it? 2 seasons after, not even the season after, a season after, not the next season, but another season after, they went to the finals and they won at least. I bring up at least the Pacers, the Celtics, and the Heat at least and all. All these 3 teams are your last 3 finals participants from the Eastern Conference and all. All 3 teams lost in the Eastern Conference Finals the season prior and all too as well. So that's why I give a big shout out to the Pacers on doubling up what they did and all, because the Celtics did it. They lost in the finals in 22, went back to the Eastern Conference Finals in 23, then went back to the finals in 24 and all. When you look at the Heat, lost in the 22 Eastern Conference Finals, went back to the finals in 23 at least. No, I just don't like trading. When you trade your coach, you basically trade. When you fire your coach, you basically dead all the principles and all that ish that got you to the finals before and all. And with those principles changing and all, I'm not sure what team you're going to get with the Knicks and all. The Knicks have had injury and health issues throughout their runs over the past, 2 seasons and all, 3 seasons now? Yeah, 3 seasons, because they lost to Miami, lost to Indy last year, and I lost to Indy again this year. So yeah, the past 3 years at least and all. They've always had health concerns at least and all, but with Tibbs coaching at least and all, they're still able to be a top 4, top 5 team in the Eastern Conference and make at least a decent playoff run at least and all. If there's injury concerns this year, which is like my big concern about why they're making this coaching change at least. Now, if you have an injury concern this year, who says that you're going to be a top 5 team next year? Tibbs proved that you're going to be a top 5 team no matter what the injuries are, as long as Brunson's healthy for the majority of it. No matter who's in and out, Tibbs and Brunson are going to get you a top 5 seed in the Eastern Conference and all. We're looking at a Jason Kidd. The Knicks are currently looking at a Jason Kidd right now. What has Jason Kidd done when his teams have not been healthy at least and all? They don't make the playoffs, even though arguably in a better conference at least and all too as well, but they're not even a competitive team at least and all too as well when they deal with injuries and all too as well. Mind you, to their best players and also I'll be fair, Luka being out the year before they went to the finals and all, Kyrie Irving being out obviously through the second half of this season and all, and then obviously Anthony Davis being out. And when those players are out, they show some fight against Oklahoma City Thunder and all, but so I won't go divulge too deep in that point at least now, but I am worried when there's going to be change at least and all too as well. Throughout the season for the Knicks and all, it's going to be a different principled type of situation at least and all too as well. I'm curious in that coach's first season, how's that going to play out at least and all too as well. It's not like Tibbs' first season with the Knicks was dandy at least and all too as well. But they figured it out and got to this point at least and all. That's like you're starting the clock all over again when you bring in a new coach and all. So that's my concern with the Knicks making this move and all too as well. I feel like if they're going to what's it called then? If you're going to change coaches, try to keep the same Try to keep the same momentum from, like, I want to just kill this whole coaching staff and get a whole new coaching staff. I would try to keep the majority of this coaching staff because it's like magic, I feel like, is working at least and all. It took you a quarter of a century to make the conference finals and all. How long, to think that you're going to have to build that same type of magic with a new coach and all, I just feel like it's a tad ignorant, you know what I mean? Or maybe a tad arrogant at least and all. So I would try to keep the same coaching staff, the same mix going at least and all. Just maybe a different voice. It's just not Tibbs at least and all. I think Rick Brunson's a force of an idea at least and all too as well. But if that's where you have to go to keep that same continuity at least and all, that's what I would drive for if I were the Knicks at least and all. But these are the Knicks. They do what they want to do anyway. Most of their decisions doesn't make much basketball sense either and all too as well. They're rumored to be going after Giannis too, and there's some talks of Kevin Durant being interested of going back over there too, or not going back over there, but going over there. I say go back because he played for Brooklyn for a few seasons. I guess it's more of a few seasons than a couple seasons, but still, thinking about going back to New York at least and all too as well, depending on how that situation plays out and all too as well. So just seems like it'd be a lot of change for a team that made the Eastern Conference Finals and all. When you look at the last three participants in the finals from the Eastern side at least and all, they all lost in the Eastern Conference Finals before they got to the finals and all too as well. And the Pacers win this championship and all. I'm just really gonna look at the Knicks weird, honestly. Like, you're kind of set up to make the finals next year too as well. It's like the first year of Mikal Bridges and Towns and Brunson and OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson only got healthy in the second half of the season. Though, why not see how that plays out? Just add some more to that too as well. So I've always liked their starting lineup and all. When they made the Cat trade, I said quickly, this is going to be an offensive team and all. And then they ended up having two All NBA players on their team this year. I would have voted for Cat to be a first-team All-NBA over Giannis at least. Now, just based off the start, Giannis came on second half. Can't really take that away from him, and I'll kind of put him in the MVP convo too, because Milwaukee should not have been a top 4, top 5 team this year, honestly. But that's to a testament to his greatness at least, and all too as well for Giannis at least, and all. But for the Knicks, at least and all too as well. Like, you made one move, it worked. You made the Eastern Conference Finals and all. I just don't understand why giving up on it. And it's kind of on management. It's ironic management fires Tibbs, but it's kind of on management on why you didn't have a deep rotation. You didn't have a true 9-man rotation. Precious Achiuwa wasn't good for you too as well. Landry Shamet and Cam Payne are inconsistent at least and all too as well. And it doesn't even matter when you have Deuce McBride already, you know what I mean? So, like, he was the only true reliable bench guy throughout the season and all. They got their bench got deeper when Mitchell Robinson got healthy at least and all. But still, I just don't understand why not give that a second, give that another chance, honestly. You've seen Tibbs taking Isaiah Hartenstein and DiVincenzo as role players, to deep second round appearances at least and all too as well, even with the health injuries too as well, honestly. And you can obviously see that Cat was dealing with a knee injury, with the left knee issues that he was dealing with in the Pacers series too as well. So I'm a little thrown off by it. We'll see who they pick up at least and all, to see if they can make a big move, honestly too as well. Like bringing in Giannis, a stretch. Bringing in Kevin Durant, maybe. But maybe happen, I should say, at least. No stretch of Giannis going, that's a huge stretch. But if they're able to make a big move like that, or similar of that ilk at least, maybe keep the core and add someone like that too as well. Maybe it works. I would argue add someone and keep Tibbs too as well, honestly. But that's just me as a Celtics fan, at least too as well. Just my opinion about Tibbs getting fired at least. But I just look at it weird. Loser of the Eastern Conference Finals over the last 3 years has made the finals. I would vote to keep things the same. Add to it too as well. I think the Heat kind of added. I just think players got better. Like Caleb Martin got better, Max Strus got better, Gabe Vincent got better. So that's what propelled them into the finals and all too. Is when we look at the Celtics, they made a move. I'll be fair there with Drew Holiday and adding Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday at least and all. And with the Pacers at least, they just got healthy. Ben Mathurin wasn't healthy last year too as well. Same thing with the Pascal Siakam thing too as well. You just traded for him in February, you know what I mean, or January, whenever that trade was at least and all too as well. Give it a chance. They gave it a chance. Pascal Siakam's been better this year too as well. I think he was an All-Star this year too as well, but he's had himself a great season. He's having himself a great postseason run too as well. And so just, with the 1 year of bringing in Mikal Bridges and Cat. I just think you would have given the coach that got you to the conference finals for the first time in 25 years, another year or two, to see if you can get to the promised land at least on two as well. And I thought based on their health, over the past, couple seasons, he was definitely getting you there too as well. Tibbs has got his knocks, and I really think that's, there was a question about, even on Get Up again, there was a question about, was it basketball reasons or was it perception that got Tibbs fired? And all. I think it's by far perception because of his, not overplaying his players and not playing the bench at least and all. I feel like that perception hurt him going towards the end. Going into this off season at least and all, into next season, hurt him losing his job at least and all too as well. So I think that's all I got for NBA stuff. Oh yeah, since I'm on a roll, do I have a timestamp somewhere? Do I have a timestamp anywhere? I really don't. It's been annoying. Should have a timestamp somewhere. I'm so annoyed by that. Just to see how long I've been going at least on two as well. Because there's one more thing that I should mention at least on. I think it was easily seen throughout the season at least and all. But Aaron Rodgers is going to the. Oh, they don't have it. Oh, hold up. Google being a little weird. Give me a second. I thought they really don't put it out there. Ryan Clark. Who cares about Ryan Clark right now? Anyway, but what's it called there? Yeah, there we go. I guess the headline says it all at least and all. Aaron Rodgers to join the Pittsburgh Steelers after signing a 1-year deal and all too as well. Very interesting pickup for the Pittsburgh Steelers and all too as well, because you're picking up a guy who's going to be 42 years old sometime this season and going to have him as your starting quarterback and all. In the beginning, I would have liked it. After what I hear on Twitter, at least and all, I can understand why people don't like it at least and all too as well. I still like it because the Steelers just haven't had a quarterback over the last they haven't had a quarterback since 2019, bruh. 2020. I didn't know, Aaron. Yeah, I think Ben retired in 2020, 2019, whatever that was. They haven't had a quarterback since. And they've won football games at least and all too as well. Not much postseason success because sometimes, Tomlin does get into the playoffs with these teams at least. Mason Rudolph as your quarterback. I don't know if they made the playoffs with Kenny Pickett, but they had the winning season at least and all with them and all. But they just haven't had a quarterback, and I just feel like they've had some fairly decent teams. Russell Wilson was the quarterback last year and Justin Fields, so let me not knock them completely because they're starting for, I expect Russell Wilson to start for the Giants, and I expect Justin Fields to start for the Jets. I think it's pretty clear that Fields will start for the Jets at least. No, there is some question with Wilson at least because you got Winston there, but I don't think it's much of a question. Wilson will be starting for the Giants at least. No, but so they've had Kenny Pickett is going to be fighting for a starting job with the Browns at least and all. These are all former Pittsburgh Steelers I'm mentioning. Mason Rudolph is the clear backup at least and all too as well. But I just, as a team that's been close in games, close in in the division at least and all, with their record at least and all too as well. Mike Tomlin never having a losing season in his career at least and all. A team is just lacking a quarterback at least and all too as well. So that's why I kind of like it. What's it called? Aaron Rodgers wasn't completely bad last year too as well. His numbers say he wasn't bad. When you look at him, especially in the first half of the season, he was bad at least and all too as well. But I just think he's capable enough for a team that doesn't have a quarterback. They had no options of a quarterback. Well, they could have drafted one this year too as well. You got Jackson Dart, Shedeur Sanders. I don't know about this whole Tyler Schauk thing, but Jackson Dart and at least Shedeur Sanders, you could have drafted at least and all too as well. And they chose not to. Maybe feeling wounds from the Kenny Pickett draft at least and all too as well. So they weren't confident about drafting, a back end first round quarterback at least and all too as well. So, but I like the move for them at least and all. They needed a quarterback. They don't have anyone. There was no one else there available, and I think Kirk Cousins is probably your best available option, and he's going to cost a lot too as well. I think with a cap hit and him being paid $40 million to be a backup too as well, honestly, which is kind of crazy, honestly. But I thought I'd throw that out there about Aaron Rodgers being signed. Football season's coming up. The NBA season's almost over too as well. We got one more month of the NBA season and all. Not even just the finals and all. I cannot wait for the draft because we're probably going to get a big trade during the draft and all. And then and in the off season too as well. See if there are any big moves and all. Kevin Durant, I feel like is the big move. Maybe Paul George too as well. Bradley Beal, you can throw in there too as well. Honestly, the right team. He's a player, honestly, too, as well. I know. Bradley Beal, I'm giving credit to at the end of this podcast, but still. Those are the type of moves I would be expecting in the summer, at least, not too, as well, in the NBA season. So, yeah, cannot wait to get into some NFL talk too as well. Kind of excited about my New England Patriots this season, but I was excited about the Boston Red Sox too as well. And they can't even get outs in the first inning of these baseball games too as well, honestly. And I thought I'd be talking about them this summer. I don't know, especially after that game last night. Can't even get themselves out of the first inning without giving up 5 runs. And you got Walker Buehler out there. All right, now I'm ranting, so let's end this thing and all. But yeah, I did want to mention Aaron Rodgers signing to the Pittsburgh Steelers and all. I do like it. It's just a team that hasn't had are bereft with things haven't panned well with them at the quarterback position and all. It's just someone there. Aaron Rodgers will be, if since coming in from minicamp or mandatory camps, seems to be a bit motivated and all too as well. So I like it. Mike Tomlin and him and Aaron Rodgers have themselves a cool relationship too as well, honestly. So based off camera stuff and stuff like that throughout games and stuff like that. That's all I'm saying. But still, I like the move for him. I mean, if there's anyone that can maybe rein in Aaron Rodgers, maybe it's Mike Tomlin too as well. Even on Get Up, like another Get Up reference too as well. But still, they mentioned that, I think someone mentioned about Aaron Rodgers' coaches have been inexperienced guys. You know what I mean? Mark McCarthy was a young guy when he first started, when Aaron Rodgers is first coach at least and all. You got Matt LaFleur. Mike or Matt, I think it's Matt LaFleur, first season coach, and it was with Aaron Rodgers too as well, honestly. Those are his first 2 coaches of his career. And then you got Robert Saleh, first time head coach too as well, honestly, when he went to the Jets and all too as well. So those are all of Aaron Rodgers' coaches, which is a fair assessment on why he's a little cuckoo sometimes too as well. He's never really had some discipline around him too as well. Mike Tomlin, different story, you know what I mean? You ain't get a mess or bullshit or any type of shit with Mike Tomlin and all too as well. So it could be a match made in heaven, honestly, with the two. The lack of seasoned coach that Aaron Rodgers has played for and all too as well. I wish I had a timestamp to make fun of. Okay, there it is. There's the timestamp. 50 minutes in. Oh, that's not even that bad. All right, I did pretty good for myself, honestly. Add a little extra topics to make it close to an hour at least too as well. So, but yeah, Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers at least and all. Some news at least on too as well. I like it. Some people don't like it because he's 42 years old and all, and he didn't look good throughout the season last year. But Pittsburgh Steelers team that are in games throughout the season, are in playoff contention throughout the season every year and all too as well. I like that they add at least a quarterback and all too as well. Kind of saw it coming too as well, so that's why I'm not too surprised about it too as well. Honestly, but I thought I mentioned it towards the end of this podcast and all too as well. But let's hope I'm back after game 2, and I want to have a preview show. I ended up doing it, because I would have told you I was picking the Pacers in 6. Benedict Mathurin was my big X factor too as well, honestly, and I would have gone with Haliburton as my MVP at least, but I didn't do it. So it's just going to be a little thing that I'm mentioning towards the end at least, not too as well. But a big game 2 and all. I do expect the OKC just to bring it back to basketball and the end this thing and all too as well. I'm just rambling at this point and all too as well, but I do expect the OKC to win this game and all too as well. I don't expect it to be a blowout, but it wouldn't surprise me too as well, honestly, just based on how they lost last game too as well, and how I was mentioning that I just felt like in the first half for sure they lacked force and all too as well. So I do expect them to step that part up at least and all too as well. The Pacers have kept themselves in these games. They've played better defense than people want to mention all too as well. Even in that first half, I'm blaming OKC's nerves more than giving the Pacers defense credit at least on too as well. So can they double that up too as well? If they're able to keep this close, they're going to have the advantage towards the end of the game and all too as well. It's not based off luck or some type of voodoo and all, even though I'm having fun with that too as well. I just think them playing fast, getting into their half-court offense 20 seconds in to the shot clock at least and all too as well, I just think creates more possessions for them at the end of these games, creates more rhythm for them throughout these games too as well. I think that's why they look so dope at the end of these basketball games too as well, honestly. But let me cut it there. I'm hopefully to be back after game 2 at least and all too as well. Let me do some type of game by game reaction. I got lucky with the 2 days between game 1 and game 2 at least, and also I had a little time, to get myself prepared and all. But that is the plan. Let's see if I can finally stick to a plan and all too as well, or a schedule and all. But you will see me again at least and all too as well, reacting to this series and all too as well. Like I said, thrilling game by both teams, honestly, too, as well. Another argument, too, as well. I keep going and about these small markets, at least, and all. Is it going to hurt the NBA? I say no. You're going to get good basketball and all, too, as well. Basketball ethics are on the line. Team versus one player, you know what I mean? That small market bullshit is not going to matter. If you get games like this, people are going to tune in and all, too, as well. So that's another thing I get annoyed with. But I'm a basketball purist. I'm one of those basketball purists. I love ball. Pause. I like basketball, at least, and all, too, as well, a lot. and all, either playing it, taking it in at least. And obviously, as you see me for the past hour talking about it too as well, and also I'm a big fan of it too as well. I hate when people put the business or the capitalistic part into the NBA. At least, if you get some good basketball, people are going to watch. I think if you get 6-7 games of that, you're going to get some high numbers in the back end of this series and all too as well, in the 6 or 7 and all too as well. If this type of ish happens, I expect OKC to blow out the Pacers, or not blow out, but win tonight. And it wouldn't surprise me if they blow them out. If neither of those happen, you're going to have some people watching this series, honestly, because it's not so clear, like people said, having OKC winning 5 or 4 at least, and all too as well. But I'm going to shut the hell up. I appreciate you guys listening. Again, if you guys are listening on the YouTube side, please press that subscribe button to help support the podcast. And again, if you guys are listening on any podcast platform like Apple, Spotify, please leave us a rating and all too as well, to again help support the podcast and all too as well. But we'll talk soon, and appreciate the time. We'll talk soon. Peace.